What is up, you doorknobs? Hi, my name's Kyle. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I was not calling you a doorknob. I was referring to this literal pile of doorknobs that I have next to me. If you're returning, I was calling you a doorknob because you came back for more. Welcome back, I guess. You're crazy. So yeah, doorknobs. I have a stack of indoor doorknobs in front of me. If you have checked out my first video, I made a passing comment about how I've been trying to swap out the gold metal in the house, and this is part of that campaign. So throughout my house, I have mostly gold doorknobs in like the knob style, not the handle style. And sorry, I'm looking around at my doorknobs. I'm not just like drifting off here. So I have a lot of gold doorknobs in the interior knobs in my house. I'm going to say knob a lot in this video, so just get used to it. I also have a few of like the handle style knobs. And additionally, because I've never done this before, so I learned a lot of things, there were 3 types of knobs that I needed. That being privacy knobs, passage knobs, and dummy knobs. Oh God. Now I'm contemplating whether or not I even make this video. Maybe I'm the knob. Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna move these over there and we're gonna take a look at them because I'm not sure what else to say here aside from knob. So yeah, stack of brand new doorknobs. I've got gold doorknobs throughout the entire house. I wanna swap them out. I've got privacy doorknobs, passage doorknobs, and dummy doorknobs. I've never done this before. I have done no research on how to do this. I have merely just counted how many of each I need. So let's go look at them over there and let's try to install these knobs. Okay, we're at my kitchen table, and what I've done was I went ahead and just pulled one example of each knob up here on the table so that we could take a look before we started installing. These are all quickset knobs, and they're all from the Pismo series. So one of the things that was important to me when I decided to do this was I wanted all of the interior doorknobs to be uniform. Right now I'm working with 2 different types of doorknob in the house. The majority of them being kind of the knob style that are gold metal, and then a couple of the handle style that are just a little too ornate. I'll show them if I haven't already. So yeah, I got all of these from the same series so that all the knobs are uniform. They just all have different functionality. So again, from the last clip, we have privacy, passage, and dummy. And let's just take a look inside so we can see what the differences are. I'm gonna set these over here. This first one is the privacy. So as the name suggests, this doorknob has a lock on it. This is the type of doorknob that you have on, before I even get into that, let's note, this is nice. The lock mechanisms are greased on this, and I can already feel it. So before I put it on my tablecloth, I'm not gonna put it on my tablecloth. So, okay, where was I? They greased the parts. Don't touch it. I'm gonna do this very carefully. Okay, so yes, privacy doorknobs. These are the locking doorknobs that you have on bedrooms, on bathrooms, that type of stuff. Any room that needs to be locked for privacy. That is definitely gonna fall. I'm just gonna move this over here. Okay. So first up, we have the privacy doorknobs. I don't know if that's gonna focus. You can see there's a lock on this side, and then the little hole to bust the lock like you did when you were a kid. So yeah, this is the privacy doorknob. I went with I went with brushed nickel. They did have a chrome option, and it looked really, really sleek, but I was thinking about fingerprints. I liked that mirrored metal, but for something that you put your hands on all the time, I imagine it's just gonna look smudged and gross over time, or you're constantly gonna be cleaning it. So I opted for the brushed nickel. This is the privacy knob. And like I said, what makes it a privacy knob is the fact that it has a lock on this side. I've also got the other components in here. I don't know what any of these are. I mentioned I haven't looked into this at all. I just looked up how many I needed of each. So yeah, this is the privacy knob. I'm gonna try to put this all back how I found it. Next up, let's take a look at the passage knob. This should look exactly the same as the privacy knob, except it won't have a locking mechanism on it. And these doorknobs are gonna be for your closet doors, any door that, again, passage, so it doesn't need to be locked. It just needs to have a handle to open and close it. I'm using it for my closets, but I'm sure there's other use cases for passage doors. All right, so here's the passage door. Again, looks very similar to the privacy door, except there's no locking mechanism on it. This is also the stainless steel Pismo handle from Kwikset. Last up, we've got my favorite. This is the dummy knob. So let's just take a look at this one. How funny would it be if I just pulled a miniature version of myself out of this? Cool. So the dummy knob is a single knob. I'm gonna have to figure out how to assemble this. We'll figure that out along the way. Oh, I think I already figured it out. Regardless, this is a dummy knob. You'll notice the biggest difference between this and the other two is there's only one knob. This is just like the name suggests, a dummy knob, meaning there's no knob on the other side. So I have I have like a pantry closet upstairs, and I have a entry closet over here that both need the dummy knob. The pantry closet, I believe, it's pretty standard to have one of these. My entry closet, the previous owners modified the wall by adding wood planks across it and also covered the door. So in doing that, they turned that door from a passage door into a dummy door. I'm just assuming because the thickness of adding those extra wood planks and having to carve that was just gonna make it too difficult. So they just opted to make it a dummy door. So these are the knobs. They seem pretty straightforward. I'm not intimidated yet, but we'll start installing these and see how it goes. I think we'll start with the dummy knob because it appears to just be a couple screws. So yeah, let's start with the dummy knob. Let's see how it goes. Cool. Old dummy knob is off. And it looks like they had put another dummy knob on this prior to that because I'm seeing 4 holes here. Let's take a look at the spacing. Maybe some of these pre-existing holes will work. They will not. Okay, so I guess we're gonna use the guide. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out and figure it out. Okay, so I cut out the template and we're gonna give this a shot just to show you guys what I'm working with here. This is the template. If that's not coming in clear, I'll put in a different shot of it. But essentially, it lets me know where I should place this with the edge of the door and then where I should place the screws. So I've got a little bit of painter's tape here, and I'm gonna go ahead and tape this on, and we're gonna start drilling. Maybe I should have opened the door before I pulled the handle off. How should I open this? Gently with the screwdriver. Okay. You live and you learn. All right, so that's taped on, and then just to double check. 1, 2, and that'll be covering up all of the marks from the previous door. All right, so I'm just gonna drill. So the instructions didn't say so, but I'm gonna go ahead and drill some pilot holes just because I've made that mistake before. So better safe than sorry. Oh, that's not where I wanted to go. So As I'm installing this, I'm gonna make sure that, I guess it doesn't really matter. There's a small piece right here off to the side. You can see it's like a threaded piece. Essentially, you unscrew this to lock the knob into this part. I'm gonna have this facing into the house. That way, I mean, it's a minor thing, but that way you're not seeing it when you first walk in. Okay, first side is in. Oh, you've probably noticed this already, but I probably should have taken the guide off. Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm gonna pull the guide off real quick, but that's on. Cool. Mr. Genius. Well, at least the holes went in nice and easily. It's level. So I'm not too bummed about having to do this again. I'm actually gonna hand screw this in just to be safe. Actually, no, I'm not. All right, that's in. Now for the final piece here, it came with an Allen wrench, little tiny baby Allen wrench. And I'm assuming what I do is I put this on, put the knob on, and then I'm gonna loosen this threaded piece in here until it comes through enough to lock this knob into place. Easier said than done. Or, you know what? I said I read the instructions, I didn't get that far. Hold on, let me see. So it just says tighten pre-installed set screw. It says tighten, which I get, but I think it actually means loosen. Please get in there. So you're turning it left. You're actually turning it like you loosen something, but it's tightening the knob to the rest of the fixture. So just want to make sure that's really tight. It is. We got a dummy knob. Look at that. Any dummy can do it. Dummy knob number 1. Done. So this is my bedroom door. And like I mentioned earlier, this is one of the gold knobs that we're going to be replacing. This is a privacy knob, as you can tell from the hole in the front of it. We're just going to go ahead and remove this previous knob, and then we'll give installing the new one a shot. So let's just do it. That works. Wow. Sucker's long. Okay, that should be it. Okay, let's pull it apart. Alrighty, the old doorknob has been removed. Let's put this somewhere where it can be greasy. Yeah, you'd be greasy over here. Okay, so let's get this installed. I don't think the angle is going to be the best here, but we're working with what we got. And I did read the instructions on this as well. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and install this new doorknob. I was just looking and reading the instructions, and this first piece that we're putting through, as we put this in, if it fits, it does. You wanna make sure the higher part of this, let's call it a latch, is facing inward, and the lower side is facing outward, so that when this closes, there's a smooth, a smooth transition as you press that closed. If you do it the other way, it's just gonna jam shut. So you wanna make sure that it slopes towards the door frame. I think that's the right way to say that. Okay, so according to the instructions, I'm just gonna screw this faceplate in, and we will keep on moving. Well, that doesn't look level. That looks better. That's not good. There we go. Okay, so this mechanism has been installed, hopefully correctly. We're not going to find out until we install the next part. So what I was just reading is you want to make sure that this back latch, this piece is centered. This is adjustable if you wanted to. There's a pin somewhere in here, but this appears to be centered, so I think we're okay. Oh, actually, I just want to note, so this piece is, I guess, called a drive collar, and then there's also another type of plate that they're including here. I think these are just additional pieces in case you want different styles, or I guess there's probably different reasons to have different style plates. So I don't think I need any of these. Okay, so I was over here futzing with this thing, trying to figure out why I couldn't get it to fit through. If I just read the instructions, all you got to do is push this latch down, and then you should be able to push this right through. Beautiful. So as you can see, maybe, yep, got the knob on this side. And then we will just be installing the knob on this side and we should be good to go. So what I'm going to end up doing here is I'm going to remove the knob from this fixture just so that I can screw that in there more easily, and then I'll put this knob right back on. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. It's easier than I thought. Famous last words. Okay. There we go. Okay. That was probably a terrible shot. I apologize. How are we looking there? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just get these screws in. And then I want to level this, so at least want to get it stable. Never really seen the inside of a doorknob before. Not surprisingly, it's pretty intricate in there. I'm glad it's just screwing a couple components together and not assembling this entire thing, that's for sure. All right, how level are we here? Not at all. The other side is level. Cool. Sweet. That wasn't too bad. So that's on there now. The last step is just going to be putting the handle, the knob right back on. I'm going to do that as soon as I find the Allen wrench that I've lost. Smart. Okay, if I were an Allen wrench. Oh, I hope it's buried in the carpet. It was, of course. So the funny thing about this one is on the dummy door, you twisted it left to tighten it. On the privacy door, you actually do twist it right to tighten it. So just something to note if you're thinking about these quick set doorknobs. Okay, did I really just do that easily? Feels nice. Does it lock? Sure does. Sturdy, level, beautiful. Nice. Cool. Privacy door is installed. Let's do a passage door. So I was wrong about one thing. I was wrong about a lot of things. But in regards to the doorknobs, I held up this faceplate just a second ago and I was like, oh, there's different plates that you can put in the door depending on, I don't know why. This is not for that. This plate actually goes against this door frame, and I'm just gonna go ahead and swap it now because this plate is gold. We're swapping everything out with brushed nickel, and might as well swap this as well. And the reason that I'm doing this by hand right now is just because I brought the screwdriver over here and not the drill. sure the drill would be just fine. Okay, let's get this last one in. Okay, we did it, done. Since we're in my bedroom, we're just gonna keep rolling in here and install the passage knob on my bedroom closet. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull this off, and then we'll do the same thing we did with the privacy door and see if there's any difference between installing a privacy door or installing this passage door. Let's try not to do that. He's a genius. Oh yeah, it's the same instructions. Okay, same thing. So we're just gonna go for it. Pretend like we know what we're doing now. I think I'm getting a little overly confident already. Yes, he is. Take it easy, buddy. The latch mechanism is in. And now, does it matter which way is which? I don't think it does. This one feels like the exterior. I don't know why, it just does. So I'm going to pull this side off for the camera. Make sure you push the latch in, install one side of the doorknob, throw the other side in. If it wants to go, it does. I'm gonna get these screws started here, and then I'm gonna work on leveling it and then tightening it. Let's check the levelness. I'm really only concerned with the levelness out front, around the face of the door. So that's level, like that. I'm just gonna hold it and tighten it now. This should be it. I'm gonna get this back knob on, and then we'll install that frame, the door frame plate, and we'll be good to go. So that's that. That was the passage doorknob. It was nearly exactly the same as installing a privacy doorknob. The only difference is on the privacy doorknob, I took off the knob that had the locking mechanism. So that piece behind it looked a little bit different, but the installation was exactly the same. And if I didn't cut it out of there, I did mention the instructions that came with the passage knobs are exactly the same as the ones that came with the privacy knob. I think they're both listed on here. Yeah. So cool. We've installed one of everything. Hopefully I walked you through as much as I could. They seemed pretty straightforward. I thought there was going to be more to it than that, but now we've installed a dummy knob, a passage knob, and a privacy knob in the house. I'm going to go ahead and knock out the rest of these, but I at least wanted to take you along for the ride for the first 3, just in case anyone has done anything like this or they're looking to. Please tell me what I did wrong. Please tell me if you're thinking to do the same. But yeah, cool stuff.